Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and before I start about my topics, I will going to explaining to you guys about my condition and my recent location. But before maybe I always do my videos, my record an exercising speaking skills in Lampung in my hometown. Today I am in Banyuwangi right now, and it's Java going to do some activity, volunteering activity. Yeah, and before that, I was wondering what kind of topic I am going to talk about, and this morning I'm going to talk about leadership because while I am sitting in the train, I was reading a lot, not a lot, just a little bit about leadership in my iPad because I do not, I know, in my tablet because I do not have, like a book for me to read. So I just reading about leadership in my tablet. So based on what I reading, talking about leadership, it's essential skills for us to grow, right? Because even okay, we have two kind of people, right? Introvert people and extrovert people, and many of leaders that we know maybe like kind of maybe our leader of our classroom, maybe our leader of our you know and on and on. They are able to have like a interact with many people, or in other words we could say that they are introvert they are extrovert, right? Because they can just like what this they can hook many people, right? They are have like a leadership skills. And then based on what I am reading, leadership have two basic types. First of all, it's task leadership, and then second of all is connection leadership. So based on their research, leadership, how people lead some people, they only have two kind of types, and this type is separated between connection and between task. Yeah, so many leadership just only focus on one of them, not both of them. So if they are focused and concerned in what like a connection, so that they are making connection with their member, with their participant, with their like people, right? They focus on treatment, focus on empathy, focus on like, oh dear, that's okay, I feel you, I understand you, like that. That was the connection. That is the connection leadership. On the other hand, the task leadership is focused and concerned on the structure. So this kind of leader is is maintaining about the roles, the roles pembagian. Okay, so connection leadership is focused on connection, of course, on empathy, on trust, and team well-being. They focus on that. On the other hand, when we talk about a what a task leadership, they focus on the roles, on the task and assignment, on the job task, like that. And I was do my research in Google, and artificial intelligence helped me to understand better. So maybe we can learn together about this, right? So task and connections, leadership balance, getting work done, and supporting people. So task leadership focus on goals, roles, and clear steps, while connection leadership focused on trust, empathy, and team well-being. Okay, so maybe when we are do our own reflection, we could just conclude many of kind of leader that exist in our life. What kind of leadership they use? We can just classify the method, right? And here, yeah, many of our experiences on the leader only have one of them. They are taskable, they are connectionable, and both of them, when independently we choose only one or we separated two of them, it's it's getting worse. It's getting worse because why? Because for task leadership, when they only focus, I mean, really, uh, prioritizing the task, the goals, the steps, they are, as a human being, they all were stressed. They all were, getting so much pressure, right? And while the connection leadership, if they are only focused on that, they would be really slow down. The work is really slow because they always, oh, that's okay, I will help you. They broke the rules because of connection. They, like, having many trouble because of only maintaining connection. So the conclusion, or the new knowledge that we can take together and we using together, is that connection and task, or maybe I could say task, assignment, roles, and connection and empathy and trust is need to be united. Because of what? Because as a human being, we need someone, we need something to make us do the rules, to make us obedient. We need system, right? As a human being, even we are smart people, even we are intelligent people, we need, right? We need system to build us, right? To rules us, right? We need system, we need task leadership, and also we are a human being. We have many feelings. We have tired, we have exhausted, we have stress, we have fun, we have feelings. So we need someone who also empathize with us, right? We only need a connection, leadership. So maybe that's all, guys, what I could sharing with you about my new insight, my new knowledge about leadership. And this is really great lessons for us. Because of what? Because this knowledge we can use not only when we are a leadership in our classroom, becoming like a leader in our organization, no, but passively we can use this knowledge applying to ourselves. Because in Islam we have the concept that even yourself, even in your own self, you need to lead them. When you are feeling so lazy, when you are feeling so stupid, when you are really want to giving up, when you are and on, you need to lead them into the right purpose, into the right work, into the right circumstances. So you are a leader, even though for yourself. So just use this for ourselves with discipline, but we are also emphasizes about ourselves. Okay, we are having like a heart, that like what, yeah, like that lah. And yeah, because we have maybe like 1 minute to finish this video, I'm going to talk about leadership. When I was in a senior high school, a DCLAD, we call it DCLAD, it's kind of training improvement about leadership. I got one big lesson from that when you know, I start to understand, become a leader, especially for your friends, especially for your organization. Sometimes our God, yeah, because I'm a Muslim, I trust in Allah, right? Allah is always preparing us, you know. Do you guys have ever heard, you know, the task that given to you always be able to do, to finish, or yeah, to solve your problem, because you know the one who give us the problem knows us better. So that's it. That's leadership for me. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, maybe the guys I will continue next day. Yeah.